Welcome back. Today in our Sunday Spotlight, firefighters from our state have just returned after helping to battle wildfires out west. They're part of the DEEP's Interstate fire crew. Two of those members are joining me now, Frank Servo and Rachel Holmes, who were both helping battle fires in Montana and Minnesota. Thank you both for joining us. Frank, I'll start with you. Tell me about that experience. What was it like, and have you done it before, and what was this latest deployment like?
So this was actually my first time going out west to fight fire, and it was a great experience. I saw a lot of really interesting things, and yeah, I had a really great time and had a really positive impact, I think.
Rachel, how long were you gone, and where did you go?
Well, Eric, we were gone. We left July 28th, and we returned on August 14th. We started out in Minnesota, and we did a severity detail, which means that we were stationed or staged for initial attack. And then after things were sort of buttoned up in the area where we were sent out to Montana to continue to do initial attack on some fires that were brewing not far from Yellowstone outside of Billings.
You know, we're talking about huge expanses of land here, obviously. I mean, you know, firefighters we know might, go from Hartford to New Britain to help with the fire. You left Minnesota and went to Montana. When you're talking about these kind of spaces, it must just be a monumental effort when there are multiple wildfires burning. Did you feel that as you were there, that you were just one small part of a huge operation?
Absolutely. That's exactly how it feels. And it's not only within the geographic area where we were within Montana, you're also very much aware of all the fires that are burning across the West. And so you definitely feel like you're part of a broader system to try to address these major wildfires that are plaguing our nation.
Now, Frank, you said this was the first time that you went out with the Interstate Fire Crew. What kind of training does it take to be able to do this? And what about the experience maybe surprised you, or how did you feel once you got out there?
Well, it definitely takes a lot of training. Sort of the initial training is a lot of education and studying on things like fire behavior, fire weather, the ways that how fires start, how they spread, and how you can safely interact with them and fight them. And that's just sort of the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of that goes into that, and then there's a lot of practice with the different tools that you're going to be using, some sort of scenarios, and then a lot of team building exercise and getting to understand and be comfortable with the chain of command that you're going to be working under. Yes, and then that's the initial training. And then there's also, you're required to keep your certifications current. So, you have to be actively engaging with fire and responding to incidents to sort of keep yourself certified over time. I was really shocked by the sort of the breadth of the experience. I expected to be going in and doing, as Rachel mentioned, initial attack, responding to fires that were going on. But there's also a lot of other work that goes into sort of after an area has burned, maybe trying to make sure it doesn't flare up again and restart, or helping to clean up and rehab an area after it's been burned. So there's a huge spectrum of activities that go into wildland firefighting.
And I think one of the things that makes it different from other types of firefighting is one of the tools that firefighters like you use is backburning and actually setting fires to help control fires. So it's got to be sort of a weird process that you're battling fire with fire, huge expanses of land. Is that part of it, Rachel, that you have all those different tools that might be different from a firefighter who's running into a burning building here in Connecticut?
Absolutely. And, you see Smokey Bear with a shovel. A shovel is actually a really important tool for fire suppression. So, as you said, there's burnouts and backburns, but then you also have aerial operations, which is was a significant strategy and tactic for our work in Montana, simply because as you've pointed out, the location and the geographies where we're working, very steep terrain, difficult to access by either foot or even vehicle. And so aerial operations in the form of retardant dropped by planes, also helicopters that can drop water buckets. It really, really helped and was a significant benefit to our suppression efforts.
Now, while you both were out west, we spent a lot of time on the news covering that the smoke from the western wildfires was having an effect both on our, not cloud cover, but haze here in Connecticut, but also on the air quality here. For many of us here, it was like, holy cow, I can't believe it's reaching here. For you guys out there, did you see something that you're like, yeah, of course it reached Connecticut? Was that a surprise to you?
I'll pipe in and just say that we actually flew into Minneapolis and we drove up to the Boundary Waters, which is in northern Minnesota. And the visibility was absolutely terrible. So all that Canadian wildfire smoke that we've been getting through the jet stream over here in the Northeast, it's pretty bad. And so then when you're actually out on the fire line and you're walking into that smoke, it all becomes very, very real. Yeah.
I tried to look up some of the bigger fires in Connecticut. In 2016, the Flat Rock fire in Cornwall was 350 acres. When you guys deployed at the end of July, there were 1.7 million acres burning. But of course, the reason you do what you do is because there is a reciprocal aid program that could send firefighters here if we need them. Should people in Connecticut be glad that that exists, that if we ever do have a disaster, there's people like you from other states who will come here?
Sure. I'll pitch in. Go ahead, Frank.
Well, yeah, I would just say that, yeah, absolutely. And that's a big part of, I'm a Dept employee. And so that's part of my job responsibilities is responding to forest fires here in Connecticut. And so for me personally, and sort of for the state from a resource perspective, giving us the ability to go and fight fire out west gives us more experience and more training so that we're better prepared if something were to happen here in Connecticut. And then also, as you mentioned, the ability to call in resources from other states if we ever needed them is a tremendous asset.
And just we have about 10 seconds left, Rachel. Just tell people, is this something you think that they should learn more about, what's happening with these interstate fire crews?
Absolutely. Our climate is changing. We've got lots of things that we need to be thinking about in terms of forest health. We all have a role to play in protecting our nation's forests from wildfires. So I think definitely getting more informed is key to that effort.
All right, Frank Servo, Rachel Holmes, both part of the Connecticut Interstate Fire Crew that was out west battling wildfires this summer, among the 21,000 people engaged in that effort all across multiple western states. Certainly people here are glad that you're home just fine. Thank you for being with us here on CT21. That is CT21 for this week. We'll see you back here next week. CBS Sunday Morning is next. We'll see you back here in Studio A next Sunday morning.
Thanks for watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Watch us live wherever you are on our mobile, on our streaming news app. And you can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.